folks. I'm joined today by Santiago García, CTO at Nowports, one of Latin America's most recent unicorns. Santiago, how's it going, man?
Hello everyone. Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me, César.
Well, Santiago, to say the least, this couple months have been very exciting for you people at Nowports. And I was wondering, now that you're expanding very rapidly, and that you made a very quick jump from a successful startup to a unicorn. Aside from all the attention and all the press, what has changed for your company over the last couple months?
Yeah, actually, everyone, there's been a really big mindset change. Everyone start feeling like we're already doing something that is having a really great impact, and we're maturing to a level that we need to start thinking about other things that we were not thinking before, a little bit more strategic, a little bit more thinking about what's going on, what's coming in the, not in the next 2 3 months, but in the next 3 4 years. So there has been a really big mindset, mainly focusing on what I just mentioned. Started to think a little bit more into the future and what we're actually going to do besides logistics, besides fintech. What else we're going to do to expand, to grow, to build new products, and to be able to make a $10 billion company.
You are a unicorn now, so what follows? What's the next goal for you as Nowports?
We want to be as big as we can. I'm not going to that. I'm not going to that. We're really ambitious. We really want to dominate the market in Latin America and start expanding to other markets. We are really ambitious in what we want to do. We really want to become the first Latin American company to be evaluated in $10 billion. Actually, that's one of our main drives. But in the middle, we may end up doing an APO. Maybe not. That's something that we are going to define soon. But the thing that we actually are pretty sure is that we want to be as big as we can.
Yeah. So you guys are expanding at a very rapid rate, and I was wondering, okay, you in this moment of expansion, you have very specific technological needs, and I'm not speaking only about software and hardware. I'm also speaking about talent. So my question is, what are your needs for technology in this stage of expansion?
Yes. So at this stage, actually, the velocity of things is even bigger than before, and more because of the of the investment that we receive. We have biggest responsibilities, and one of them is growing and growing our teams. And from technology perspective, everyone knows it's a really difficult market because you have more needs than people to cover those needs in the industry. But for Nowport, so far we didn't have actually a problem in this matter, at least on a technology perspective, because of the impact we're having in the region and the culture that we have inside Nowport, and specifically inside our technology team. Uh, People want to be in our company. So actually, growing is not being hard. We are we are we are receiving at least and onboarding at least 10 people per week in technology for the past 2 months, a little
Wow.
more or less. We're already 130, 140 people team, and we were 50 when we started this year. So you and we expect to finish the year in about 200 people in the team. And for a moment, we thought that it was really an ambitious number to tackle, but actually, we're probably going to get there sooner than we expected. Well, as I mentioned, people really want to join this project. People really want to join what we are building. People have been following us and our growth in the past few months, in the past year, and I don't know. It's been really easy for people to want to join the company.
That's very interesting because most tech companies I've spoken to tell me that they're having a very hard time finding software engineers, specialized software engineers. But from what you tell me, you guys pretty much have people waiting at the door. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, so far, I mean, it sounds like maybe I'm creating I creating this statement, and it's not true. But the thing is, it's actually what's going on. People are. I don't know if they are waiting, but they are super open and super motivated by showing what we're trying to do. And so far, we're not dealing with any difficulties on that matters. We are being able to hire even quicker than we were hoping to do it.
Okay, what about hardware and software? Do you guys have any specific plans to upgrade your technology in that respect? Or are you working with the same tools that you had before becoming a unicorn?
No, as everything else in the company, technology needs to adapt and change through the different stages of the startup. Now we are going for something a little bit more at a world level, not only at a region level. We're about to open Miami. We started conversation about Europe. So technology need to adapt. New rules apply. New laws applies. We need to comply with a bunch of new things that we need to consider. Our product is getting more and more engagement from our internal user and external user, and we need to be able to scale and adapt to those needs. So technology is always changing. I mean, working with infrastructure is become a little more easier with service like AWS, Google Cloud, Azure. All those services actually make infrastructure easier to deal with. Nevertheless, you have many things to worry about and many things to 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 build properly to be able to scale. But it's easier on that with those tools on the market. And when it comes to building the product and how we are prioritizing things and how we are defining our roadmaps. Those things also have to adapt and change as the companies mature and start to deal with new challenges. And we try to learn and be able to adapt as quick as possible. Sometimes we it takes a little bit longer than we would like to, but most of the times we have been able to follow this crazy velocity that the company has gone through these past few years.
You guys attained unicorn status during a very, I would say, complicated moment for the world economy. I mean, people speak about a potential downturn in the economy, maybe even a recession, at least for the United States. Does that affect your outlook for growth as a company?
Look, we are trying to see this, and we see this as an opportunity. Many important companies became important during a recession or during a crisis. Many of the most well-known startups out there really had their big impact or their inflection point were during a period like the one we're going in right now or we're starting to live right now. We, in our mindset, we are dealing with this situation, um, thinking about taking advantage of it and turning into an opportunity. You know, because the market is huge, the logistic market is really huge. We have a lot of opportunities to grow there, even yet in the region. So the only thing that we see this future for us going is we are going to keep growing, we're going to keep building, we're going to keep pushing farther because we know we have everything in place. And actually, the situation may make it a little bit more difficult, but we know we are ready to go and tackle all these challenges.
Me that even though Nowports has been characterized in most of the press as either a Mexican or an Uruguayan company, you told me that no, the team is pretty much spread throughout Latin America. You have people in Chile, in Uruguay, in Mexico, and I'm not sure in other parts of the region. But my point is that, at least to me, the fact that you're so spread out throughout Latin America, I see that as a sign of a truly regional startup ecosystem in Latin America. And we're not speaking anymore about bubbles or islands of companies that are just enclosed in a single country. Would you say that's an accurate statement? And if so, what's your take on it, on the situation?
Yeah, I am aligned with what you just mentioned, and what you just said is accurate. Latin America has grown a lot on the entrepreneur side these few past years before this economic global economic situation that we mentioned before. But during that time, I think we already validated that in the region we are ready for bigger things that we were doing that the things that we were doing before, and we are ready for bigger things that the things we have already done. And I think everyone noticed that. Investors, the ecosystem, everything now notice that Latin America is ready to deliver more than that it has delivered so far. It has the talent, the infrastructure is there. Not maybe not as the infrastructure is in the first world countries, but it's ready. It's ready for the next step. It's ready to take this further. And as you mentioned before, if you ask me if we were a Mexican or if we were an Uruguayan company, we really see ourselves as a Latin American company. And I mean that, and by that I mean we feel like the region. We are a company focused on the region, not in Mexico, not in Uruguay. We're focusing on the whole Latin America region. So we really feel like a Latin American unicorn, if you want to say it like that.